Hi guys, it's the AFL Yank back here again in time, a little bit later than usual for my tipping videos. We're gonna get to round 13 of the 2023 AFL season. For this round, I ended up getting 4 out of 7 tips correct. The tips I got correct were the D's, Port, Collingwood, and North, and Essendon. But yeah, 3 tips. End up getting 3 tips wrong. The Doggies, Crows, and GWS. I honestly probably should have tipped Richmond looking back on it, so yeah. But anyways, I still did pretty well. And let's get on to the tips for the 20 for this round, round 13. We got I think 12 rounds left in this season. Obviously, we have an extra round this year now. So, yeah, we're going to get to the tips now. Sydney versus St. Kilda, obviously the Swans, they're coming off the bye round. One of the first 2 sides to have the bye this year. Definitely a lot of things on the up for the Swannies, honestly. I know things are looking really bad, a few weeks ago, but as of late, things are definitely getting better. Rampy and Amorty, they're looking like they're going to be returning. It's definitely a positive sign for the Swans, although still plenty of injuries, but things should hopefully get better in the coming weeks upon the returns of McCartan, of T-Mac, and Mills and McDonald, obviously. They're all nearing their returns. McDonald's going to be back sometime next month, so yeah. Things on the up end for St. Kilda, they have been on a downward spiral as of late. They've had a pretty bad run. Things not looking too good for St. Kilda. But nonetheless, it's at the SCG. This will be the Pride match game. It's going to be amazing. Just gotta love the representation. But nonetheless, I'm going for the Swans to beat St. Kilda. They should get the job done. I'm pretty confident that the Swans will be able to rebound here. They usually do get hot around this time during the season. So yeah, that's the plus side of it. And I'm going to go for a 21-point margin, I think. I think the Swans win this game by 21 points. They win it by a comfortable margin. St. Kilda do get a bit competitive throughout this game, but I just don't think it's going to be enough for them to catch up to us. Marvel Stadium, the Western Bulldogs versus Port Adelaide. The Doggies, they've had a decent run as of late. They've been in the 8 for the past couple of weeks. But Port, I just think they're too strong at the moment. They have been such a dominant force. I mean, the Doggies could have a shot of potentially making an upset win, since this is usually that time of the year when upsets are very common. But honestly, I have my trust in Port. I think they get the job done here. I think they have a very strong game, and they continue to dominate as they have been. They have been a super strong side this year. I'm going to go for a 28-point win. They should get the job done. But, I mean, I would not rule out a Western Bulldogs upset. I think they're capable of doing it. And then continuing on, that's Thursday night game, then the Friday night game, and now on to the Saturday matches. At the MCG, it is going to be Hawthorn versus the Brisbane Lions. Hawthorn, obviously, they've actually had a surprisingly decent run as of late. They actually look a lot better than they did many weeks ago, where they looked like the wooden spooners. But now they're finally on the up, and they're impressing. But will I think it will be enough for them to upset a side like the Lions? I'm sorry, but no. The Lions are just too strong for me. I just think they have been a much better side overall as of late. I think Hawthorn can bring on some competition, but I just think the Lions are just gonna outmatch them. I'm gonna go for a 30-point win for the Lions. They should get it done. I know they have struggled at the MCG in recent years, but I still think the Lions are capable of pulling something off. Adelaide Oval, the Crows versus Eagles, no questions about it. You got to go the Crows. Just the Eagles are an absolute shambles now. they are automatically locked in for Wooden Spoon this year. Just they are awful, absolutely dreadful. And I wish I could add more, but this is going to be a huge win for the Crows. I'm going to say a 114-point win for the Crows. I think they get it done by a huge margin. I just think they're the way much better side. Like even a mediocre side can beat the Eagles by almost 100. They're that bad. But yeah. Off the stadium, Freo versus Richmond. Both sides have been a little bit shaky, although Freo have actually been in pretty solid form as of late. And Richmond did obviously sneak a win pretty recently against GWS, but I just think Freo are going to be a much better side, especially with being at home. They're finally in some decent form. They've been playing all right. And I just think they'll outmatch the Tigers. And I think they get it done by a 16-point margin. Then, in Tasmania, North Melbourne versus GWS. The Roos have not been too hot this year. They have been a pretty bad side under Clarko, which honestly is kind of a surprise for me. I really thought they would actually improve, and I did not call them a top 8 side, but I honestly thought they would be around the 12 to 14 range. Like, they're rebuilding, but I thought like having someone like Clarko would be a massive improvement for them, but I guess I was wrong, and yeah. I mean, I would not outrule North actually playing pretty well, but I just think GWS are the better side at the moment. I say the Giants, they sneak in. I think this could be pretty competitive, but I just think GWS will outlast North and they'll win by a 13-point margin, and that will surprisingly put them at a 5-8 record. Which, surprisingly, they're not too far away apparently from still finishing in the top 12. So yeah, I honestly do regret calling GWS the Wooden Spooners. I thought they'd be so bad this year, but they're exceeding my expectations. It's not much, but they're definitely on the up. At the MCG, it's Carlton versus Essendon. Sorry, Blues fans, I still do not see you recovering. Like, you just have been absolute garbage as a side as of late. Just really bad. Like, if the Swans lose to St. Kilda, it just shows how bad Carlton are. And I just don't think it'll be much of a difference. I think Essendon really, really give Carlton really good competition, and they absolutely dominate them and win by 26 points. But yeah, Essendon back to top 8 form. Just, I guess, in odd years, just Essendon somehow are good. Just Essendon are super inconsistent year after year. It's so freaking weird. But they're in really good form as of late. But yeah, Carlton, they're in absolute shambles. I wouldn't call them finishing 18th nonetheless, but I wouldn't say they're finishing 18th, but they're still pretty bad. But still, Carlton are really, really bad at the moment. And finally, at the MCG, Melbourne versus Collingwood. Two sides absolutely hot right now, just absolutely dominant at the moment. And I'm actually going to rule an upset here. I think Collingwood actually drop a game here, and I think the D's actually sneak in a win here, and I think this will be a super, super competitive game. I'm going to say the D's win by a 5-point margin. They sneak one out in an incredibly close and competitive game between the Pies. Like, I just feel like Collingwood are bound to drop a game. So, yeah. And nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this video. That is going to do it for my tips this round. I hope you enjoyed this. And, stay tuned for more. I know I haven't really been that active as of late, but I really want to still pump out some content. and all that goodness. So, yeah. Anyways, this is the AFL Yank signing out. Car on the Swannies, and happy Pride Month, everybody.